Libra season and it's the Aries full moon. What's up? So first of all, let's shout out our favorite. Shout out to all our Libras. Happy birthday, Libra. I hope all is well with you guys. And shout out because this is a reading for my Aries crew. This is all placements of Aries. It don't matter where it is in your chart. Everybody got it in our chart. We got Chiron there in retrograde, and I think is Neptune still there? Yeah, because Saturn went to Pisces. So yeah, so we got still got two planets there doing what it do. All right, this is gonna be a general reading for my Aries placement. No matter what placement you got, you can have Saturn in Aries, you can have Neptune in Aries, you can have any placement. It don't matter. Mars in Aries, it don't matter. Okay, we don't limit here. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest. We're gonna look into a couple different areas of your life for the Aries placement. So this reading can resonate with everybody because everybody got Aries in their chart. So with that being said, we're gonna deal with your personal private thoughts for the Aries energy. We're gonna deal with your career, money, and finance for the Aries energy. And we're gonna look at your family life, love life, and social life for the Aries energy. I'm putting out a few different cards that we're going to work with here, a few different decks. We're going to use a couple different decks. I mean, how many decks are we using? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 decks, okay? So this is going to be general. Take what resonate. And 13 is the Aries. Isn't the Aries number 13? Anyway. Take what resonates, Aries. Leave the rest. Again, this is a placement reading for Aries. No matter where you have Aries in your chart, because I'm going over so many different areas of your life, one of these situations could and may resonate with you regardless to where Aries is in your chart. Okay, so let's get into it. So this column here is going to represent your family life. I'm sorry. This column I got my hands on is your family, love life, social life. This middle column is career, money, and finance. And then this first column here is your personal private thoughts. Now, the top row represents the current situation in those areas. The middle row represents the possible challenge you could be experiencing. And the third row represents a possible solution to those challenges. So let's just hop in, okay? So let's talk about your career. Anyway, since I said career, money, and finance, let's just start with that. That's the middle row. We got the crayons here. The challenge in your career, money, and finance is a challenge of energy of being desperate, whether this is you or someone else, okay? So this energy could be about you, somebody around you, or, a project you're writing or something like that. Take it how it resonates, okay? Possible solution to that desperate energy would be to tap into the nominous energy, which is the mysterious energy. So when it comes to career, money, and finance, Aries, it looks like you have a variety of options. Some of you could be creative. Maybe you're having some problems. You're having a creative block is what I'm getting here. Okay. You could work around a lot of people and maybe that's making you anxious. Maybe you need to do your own thing is also what I'm getting here. Maybe you're having problems in the workplace because you're wired to work for yourself. Okay. You could be, somebody who's very different and maybe the people around you don't get you, don't understand you. Um, Maybe this environment is just not for you. But if you work in a creative field here, maybe you're having a creative block. Okay, that could be what's going on here. You're limited in what you can do and how you can create. Um, but a possible solution would be to tap into this numinous energy, which is a mysterious energy. This is like the unknown. So for some of you, if you're having a creative block, you may want to do some things that may help to open up your creative energy. So whatever you may like Aries stuff. Okay, so Aries stuff would be like working out. Okay, um, eating red foods or is it orange foods for the chakra? Which chakra? Aries rules the. Is it the solar plexus? I believe it's Aries. Okay, yeah, the solar plexus. And so you want to eat foods that are that color. Okay, that will help you. You want to meditate. You want to maybe listen to some solfeggio frequencies. Okay, that have to do with the Aries energy. That have to do with creativity. That have to do with You know, being able to focus on self, okay, is what I'm getting also. But let's get some clarity. Tell me about the crayon energy. Yeah, somebody could be disturbed because of the variety, okay? The crayons just give me an energy of variety. Variety is the spice of life. So somebody could be disturbed at the, okay, maybe there's too many options and somebody needs to narrow things down, okay? Or maybe it's not clear what it is that you're supposed to be doing. That could be the case, okay? And so the challenge is being desperate. So maybe somebody's doing anything because they're desperate, okay? We got that clarified with the animal energy. So that's primal. So we're talking about the turtle. Let's see what the sea turtle talks about here. Where's my book? Oh, here it is. Bear with me while I look the book up with the animals for the sea turtle. Sea turtle. All right, so the sea turtle talks about mellow, harmonious, go with the flow. So it's probably, it could be, you know, somebody around you. If this is not you, somebody in your, that has something to do with your career, money, and finance is a little antsy. It's hard for them to relax. Okay, it could be that there's too much going on. Somebody could be triggered in some way, shape, or form. Okay, let's get some clarity on this outcome here as far as how to resolve this. Yeah, somebody needs to calm down. You need to channel this energy. That's what I'm getting. Energy needs to be channeled. Yeah, here's the Queen of Wands. Exactly. Energy needs to be channeled. Somebody needs to create. Somebody needs to, okay, what I could get for some of you, you may have a job, like, okay, for example, you may have a job that doesn't allow you to get on the internet while you're at work. Maybe you work at a desk job and you know, you sit all day at the desk, and maybe what you do, you have times where there's a break and you're not able to go onto the internet at all. Okay, but yet the internet is available to you. So what you may want to do is get some coloring books, some drawing books, you know, to help calm you down. Some of you may have a job where you're bored. Okay, that could be what this is. You could be very bored with what you do and you're trying to find something to occupy you or to keep you so you're not antsy and all over the place. So, you know, maybe coloring books, adult coloring books could help you. Maybe you are a teacher and you're trying to figure out, you know, some creative ways to let the children express themselves. You know, of course, crayons. Somebody may want to paint. That could help you. You know, maybe painting will help to calm you because you're focused and you're concentrating on whatever it is that's going on. And so you're channeling that energy. I just feel like somebody needs to channel their energy. Okay, when it comes to career, money, and finance. So if you already have a job and you're bored and you're like, yo, I got to keep this job, but this shit is driving me crazy, you're going to have to find something to keep your mind occupied. I was just talking to somebody the other day and they were talking about getting, oh yeah, they were talking about getting a Rubik's Cube. You know what I mean? Maybe there's very little you can do at your job while you're sitting there during those downtimes. Maybe you work in a job where you like do security or something where you're sitting and you're not doing a whole lot, but you know, you got to do certain things. But most of the time, or a lot of the times, you have downtime. So, you know, maybe a Rubik's Cube, some crossword puzzles, some adult coloring books, drawing, painting, okay, whatever you can do. And this could be what you want to do. Maybe if you're a teacher and you're trying to keep your kids occupied, maybe you want to teach painting classes. Maybe you want to teach children creative ways to express themselves for career, money, and finance. Yeah, here's the Empress energy. So this is the energy of making money doing this, okay? So somebody wants to channel their creativity. They want to figure out what they can do with their creativity. The Empress is ruled by Venus. Venus deals with love. Venus is a creative energy as well. It's about appreciation. Um, where is Venus right now, y'all? I am look to see where it's at. Last time I checked, Venus was in Leo. It should be in Virgo right now. Okay. So Venus in Virgo. So this is, you know, energy of you thinking, you may be over analyzing it. You may be thinking about it too much. Like I said, somebody may have brain fog. Okay. Because they're trying to figure out how to express themselves. You have the energy, you have the creativity, but for whatever reason, it may just be, you know, brain fog right now. So yeah, we have the Eight of Cup energy. So it's like you keep going back and forth with ideas. Like maybe also with the Aries energy, what I notice is you may start. Aries is good at starting stuff, it's good at leading stuff, but it's not good at starting and leading things for a long term. It's good for initiating change and getting things out there and getting it done. But if you're going to do something long time and strategize, Aries tends to lose focus. It could be undisciplined sometimes, or it's just not interested. It may have another uh, some form that it wants to start. Keep in mind that Aries is a cardinal sign. So the cardinal signs, they're good at initiating change, but to keep it up for the long haul, it has to keep their interests. Okay. So I feel like with this desperate here and this turtle energy, that's the challenge here. Okay. Um, Going with the flow, getting along. Maybe you don't have any control with the Aries energy. You don't have any control in what's going on. So maybe people keep changing their mind and it's bonkers. It's driving you bananas. Maybe people want to order this or they want to do this type of paint or color or whatever. And then it's like, okay, I don't want this. Or maybe now they want this and now they don't want that. So it could be that type of thing. And then maybe it's agitating you. All right. But I just feel like somebody keeps starting and stopping, starting and stopping. Let's get some clarity. Okay, starting and stopping energy is challenge. Yeah, the Fool energy in reverse. So this is a energy of somebody. It's like, okay, why do I keep starting and stopping? I'm trying to get something done. It's hard for me to get it done. Um, I'm not focused, right? Because this is Uranus energy. Uranus is all over the place. It happens when it happens, it don't when it don't. And when it's in reverse, it's like you're building something up. You're trying to wait for that momentum to come when Uranus is in retrograde. That momentum already happened, and now maybe you're trying to clean up the mess of it. So maybe you started something, and with the Eight of Cups energy, I feel like you went back and forth. You're going back and forth. You can't decide what you want to do. This could represent multiple jobs. Maybe you work a job here, and then you leave, and then you get another job. And so some people could be going in and out of the workforce. You may start an entrepreneurial venture and maybe it lasts for a little bit, or you get bored with it, or you get stuck where now it's like, yo, I got to go back in and get more money. So I got to go back in the rat race. And then you may get to a point where it's like, okay, now I got enough money to take my business to the next level. So let me take it to the next level. And you may rock with that or ride with that for a minute. And then, damn, you stuck again. You may need more money, or you may need more resources or something like that. So it's like a lot of going back and forth. The Fool energy is clarified with the Seven of Swords. This is in your head. So this is you going back and forth in your head, trying to figure out what you want to start, what you want to do. Um, you have the potential to make money and be successful, and you're very creative, but it's like you got to stick with it, right? Is what I'm getting here. So the solution to the situation would be to uh, create an environment where you are able to focus, where you can um, figure out what it is that you want to do, and you could put a plan in place when you get antsy and you get bored, that you will pivot. So for like example, a workout, maybe you work out and you get, and this is because I got Aries in the area where this is a concern for me. Like I'll start working out and I'll be good for about good 3 months. Then don't let your girl start losing weight and slimming down, because then it's just like, okay, well, I'm already fly, enough with the exercise, right? And for whatever reason, I'd get bored, or and so what I thought about is like, okay, I'll do this for about a 2 month period, and then I'll switch to a different type of exercise, for a 2 month period, then I'll switch to another type, so you don't get bored. I just feel like you're bored, and this is why you don't finish projects, because you have the potential to make money and to finish. Yeah, facts. Ace of Swords, facts. So it's just like you have to get serious with it. You have to focus on what it is you want to do, how you want to do it, and then put a plan in place to keep you from pivoting, because you don't even know why you do it. Sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, but now, you may be getting older with the Empress energy. It's like you're getting older and you're getting tired of running back and forth, starting something, not finishing it, not starting it, or the situation is getting old where it's like, yo, this is getting old doing this. I need to, figure out what I'm going to do. So some of you may be wanting to go back out into the world on your own as far as the work. You want to leave the rat race, but now it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? Some of you could be serial entrepreneurs. Like I said, you may have started a project, you may have gone out there, maybe made some money from it, a little bit of money, then you had to stop for whatever reason. Then you went at it again. Maybe it was a different project, maybe it was the same one you were in, and you tried to enhance it and you had to hold off or stop for whatever reason. You could have been an energy where you got bored, could have been an energy where you ran out of funding and you needed to go back into the workplace to get some, or go step away, which took time away from you to go get some money to fund what you needed to do to take it to the next level, like things like that, right? Things that entrepreneurs only go through. So if I'm babbling and it don't make no sense to you, this may not resonate with you, but this could be somebody who you know is an entrepreneur. A lot of people are designed to be workers, and there's nothing wrong with that, but very few of us are designed to be entrepreneurs. A lot of people want to be their own boss, but a lot of people can't put the work in. Aries, it ain't that you can't put the work in, it's just you want to make sure that you're in a position where if you have any snags, you don't get distracted and and get off and do something else, especially when you're trying to get it off the ground. I'm sure once you get it off the ground and you're successful at that point, you won't get bored. You'll be able to go in different directions, and then you'll even be able to hire people to take over those. You may have a lot going on and you're trying to do too much at once, too. That could be what it is, and it could be overwhelming, right? But this is what I'm getting with career, money, and finance. So, there's potential here, there's opportunity here for you to create, whether especially if you're entrepreneurial energy. You just have to figure out what it is that you want. Maybe put something in writing, document what you've been doing. Journaling is something as well, is what I'm getting to. So you may have some ideas, and then they write things down, whatever ideas come to you, because you may want to go back to those ideas and create, but you may have forgotten about it, something like that. Okay, but that's what I got for Aries for career, money, and finance. Let's talk about your personal private thoughts. So for personal private thoughts for Aries, we have the classroom environment. That is clarified with the proud energy. Okay, so there's an energy here, the challenges of being proud. Possible solution would be to tap into the tri energy to go with the flow. Okay, so I was just talking about students in classroom and getting students to create and being able to get them to tap into their creative energy. So for some of you, maybe you work with students, or maybe you are a student, okay, or a teacher's aide, or you work in the education curriculum. It don't even have to be that. You could just have some questions about things, but you're too proud to ask. The universe is like, okay, you may have 1,001 questions. Look at all these people who got questions. So you could be beginning something and you got a lot of questions. But the challenge is, maybe you're too proud to ask for whatever reason. The universe is telling you to, go ahead and ask questions if you have questions. Use the support that's there for you, okay? And to go with the flow. So let's get some clarity on that. Now, this could be you, this could be your children, this could be somebody you know, but there could be people who have questions, but they're afraid to ask for whatever reason. Yeah, that adventure energy. Like, somebody could have questions about the situation. They may want to explore it. They may want to entertain it. They may want to consider it, but they don't want to look like they don't know what's going on. Okay, so there's an energy of ego here, of energy of proud, the challenge of being proud. Or maybe you're somebody who does something adventurous and you do something that a lot of people have questions about. Okay, and the challenge is people are like, yo, what you do is dope, but maybe maybe you're humbled too much, where you're not proud of your accomplishments. That could be it. But the universe is like, yo, just go with the flow. Be thankful that people are recognizing, not thankful, but be appreciative that people recognize what you do, and they may have questions for you about it. So the nostalgia card came out with the CDs and DVDs clarifying the proud energy. Let's see. That's nostalgia, so old school, back in the day. So the CDs talk about cumbersome, bulky, and burden. So somebody may feel is that they don't want to be a burden to someone. They want to ask questions. They look at something that's very interesting to them. They see something that's interesting, but they don't want to ask a whole lot of questions because they don't want to come off as a pain in the ass or annoying or somebody who doesn't know what's going on or who's not hip or whatever the case may be. Yeah, go with the flow with the Ten of Cup energy. So going with the flow with the Ten of Cup energy is like doing what you and your people, whatever community you're in, doing what makes things harmonious or harmonious is what I wanted to say, not harmonious. Doing what makes things harmonious. So perhaps you are leading a group of people and you're trying to be in a position where you're leading these people, you're able to answer the questions, but maybe you're getting overwhelmed and you're trying to figure out how do I, keep things in line and keep things in order. And it looks as though you may want to how can I say this? Like if you're the teacher and you want interaction from your students and you want them to be interactive and you want them to engage and you want them to participate, you kind of have to direct the course load and the curriculum and the way you teach it in a manner that would allow them to participate and be interactive. um, Maybe considering, hey guys, we have a test next week, so we're going to go over some questions and things like that. So, we have three different ways that we can review. We can review by doing, a game, or we can review by, sitting and giving you, questions and you answer them out loud and raise your hand. And I give you time to look them up in the book. Or we could do a situation where I print out a simulated test and I give you some time to take it. Which would you prefer? You know what I'm saying? Something like that. That way you're getting them to be interactive. And so they're more apt to be responsive and to be, more involved. Whether it doesn't matter if it's a school group or children or whomever. Okay. Adventure. You want to make it fun. Yeah. So with the King of Sword energy in reverse, you don't want to be so stuffy and stuck up. And because that's what this card is all about. Not being so stuffy and proud. And, there's nothing wrong with being proud, but you just don't want to come off as stuffy, cumbersome, stuffy, bulky, real heavy. It could be a lot of, the work or the subject could be very heavy or whatever it is that you're doing. But it's like you're trying to, I don't know if somebody's not taking something serious too. That could be it. And you're, maybe somebody's, the questions they're asking, maybe they're not taking things seriously. They're asking silly questions or questions you may feel are silly. Or you could be in an environment where you are highly intelligent and the questions that people are asking you are questions that you would feel like, yo, it doesn't matter. Whatever you know how to do. When you're training someone or you're showing someone how to do something, you have to be careful not to sound condescending or cocky because you've been doing it. It's clockwork to you. These people that you could be teaching or showing, they may have never been in this environment at all. So they could be asking questions that might seem to you like, yo, you don't know that? Like, come on, that's easy. But again, you have to keep in mind that, this is something that they're being introduced to for the first time. Or maybe this is you being introduced to something for the first time, and you are the teacher, maybe, or whoever is involved, maybe making you feel a certain way because you're asking questions. You know? Yeah, here's the Five of Swords energy in reverse. So this is all about, not being competitive, taking your ego out of the situation, okay? With the Five of Swords in reverse. Like, and just going with the flow and just, keeping the environment peaceful, okay? This is what's important here. But I want to get more on this card too. So tell me about this CD here. Yeah, here's the Ten of Cups again in two different decks. Okay, so the challenge is, like I said, is not being so heavy with the information, but making sure that everybody who is participating, because there's a community here of people, all right, making sure that the community here is happy, whether this is your home, people in the house, maybe you're asking them, hey guys, I want to do some decorating. I want to, do the house. We're going to do the house over. Let's sit down and figure out some things that we would like, to be done, and we can put it on a list. Or hey, if Christmas is coming up, if there's three things you want for Christmas, make a list. It's like I'm getting the energy of giving people options, right? Giving people options to decide what it is that they want so that they feel like they're a part of the situation and they don't feel like it's clashing. It's only one person's way or the highway type of thing. So I'm getting that's what you're trying to figure out, or maybe you're being presented with the fact that, hey, you don't consider everybody else, or maybe you should consider everybody else because people are losing interest. So a good way to get people's interest is to get them to participate in the decision making process. There's a psychological trick that you can do where it's like you're giving people options, but you're giving them the options, right? So for example, I could say, okay, hey, listen, what do you want for dinner? And everybody would be like, well, I don't know. I don't know. And then you got four or five people at, bringing up two three or four different things. Somebody might want Indian, somebody wants Caribbean, somebody wants Italian, somebody wants hoagies, and somebody wants, Southern food, right? So what you do is you say, okay, hey guys, let's figure out something for dinner. We can either go to uh, Cheesecake Factory or we can go to whatever, right? So now you're giving them choices. And so they think, okay, we got a choice. We're empowered. But in reality, you gave them the two choices. You know what I'm saying? So you could try to do that. All right. But that's what I got for you for your personal private thoughts, Aries. Let's talk about what's going on with your family life, love life, and social life. The current situation there is the computer. It says, hello. The challenge is being depressed. Possible solution you may want to consider for that depression is to tap into the Sagittarius Voyager energy. Now, with family, love life, and social life, I don't know, if somebody sent you a message and they may want you to visit, or they got something going on, and or maybe you're depressed because you haven't heard from someone, family member, a loved one, or a love partner. Okay, family member, friend, or a love partner, or what have you. Maybe they're trying to get you to RSVP. Somebody could be inviting you somewhere or reaching out to you, wanting to know if you're able to come, if you're able to travel, and maybe you're not able to. Or maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe someone's reaching out to you saying, "Hey, come visit me." I don't know if somebody's depressed. Could be somebody who's depressed, and you're telling them, "Hey, let's take a trip. Let's try to get you out of this grind. Let's get you out of this funk." Tell me about this hello energy on a computer. Okay, so somebody might have got a message of somebody passing away or something changing. Okay, that it's just that's the way it is. It's over. It's done. So somebody may have lost a friend, a family member. Okay, and the challenge is that somebody could be depressed about it. Okay, give me more on this depression. Yeah, we have Grandma Mauve. So somebody might have lost their grandmother. My condolences to you if you lost your grandmother, or if your grandmother is not well, and maybe you're trying to go travel to her. Maybe she wants you to come visit. It doesn't necessarily have to mean she's gone, but for a lot of you, it could be. It could just also be that she's getting older with the death energy. There's transformation coming, and maybe you want to catch her, and go visit her before she gets too old to remember you or something like that. All right, but let's talk about the mood because that's the color. Grandma Mauve is a mood, so a mood is a color. Let's see. So Grandma Mauve talks about comfort, caring, and loving. So somebody remembers that about their grandma, and they could be depressed because she's gone because she was very caring. This could be like, yo, she was the only one who cared for me, or he was the only one who cared for me. Whoever, think how it resonates. Um, but the possible solution to this would be for you to uh, take a trip, maybe go visit them, or just take a trip to get away. Maybe you had to plan funeral and you had to deal with all of that's involved, which is a lot of work and a lot of stress. And now maybe you're like, okay, let me go take a trip, right? Now, Sagittarius could be a trip out of the country, okay, or someplace distant from you, but it could also be a trip in the mind, okay, a mental trip. So you have to think about things on the 3D level, a physical trip, but you also got to think about things in the spiritual level, okay? So a trip through the mind would just be you reminiscing, going back, remembering the good times, looking at the glass half full, okay, that type of thing. The Sagittarius energy, when you in the mind and you travel, it could also be that somebody's on some type of drug, okay, that could be that as well. But let's get some clarity and see what's going on here. The outcome is the Sagittarius Voyager energy. So let's see what this is. We got the Five of Clubs. So with this Sagittarius energy as the solution, we're talking about being enthusiastic, philosophical. So somebody may want to take a sabbatical. Like I said, it don't even have to be a physical trip. It could just be, somebody's questioning, what's going on. You know how, at some point you'll question your religious beliefs, your spiritual beliefs, why you believe what you believe, what your grandma used to believe, what you were taught growing up and what you believe now, that type of thing. And with the Five of Clubs here, this is the Five of Wands. It's like you could be feeling conflicted about things, what you believe in and what you don't believe in because of a death of someone, right? Maybe this death is sparking. Uh, a transformation within you, okay, as well. Now, let's get more clarity on this death energy. This card wanted to come out, but it didn't. So, okay, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune. So it's a change. Okay, so here's more Sagittarius energy here. Um, things are changing. So the death energy and the Wheel of Fortune talks to me about transformation, things that are changing, that are not going to be the same. And then we have that clarified with the Ace of Pentacles. So, somebody's family member, friend, or lover may have left them some money. Okay, they may have passed away and left them some money. Okay, so the thing is that they wanted to make sure that you were all right. So maybe this is what they did. They left you some cash. Okay, let's get some clarity on this. Grandma Mall, the comfort energy here. Yeah, the nine. Ooh, yeah, they did. They left you some money. The Nine of Pentacles. So some of y'all, your people's left you some money. The challenge is it's hard, you're depressed, you miss them, but they made sure that you was comfortable, or they want to make sure that you're comfortable. This could be some of you. Maybe you're putting together a will, or you're putting together paperwork. What other sign was I talking to who was putting together paperwork? I forget. The signs that I've done thus far is Libra, Scorpio, um, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and I did Pisces. So one of those six signs, I was talking to them about, putting paperwork together, wills, estates, things like that. So you may want to check out one of those readings as well. But yeah, so we have the Five of Wand energy and the Sagittarius energy, the voyage energy. So there could be some, confusion in reference to what you want to do. There could also be competition. The Five of Wands could actually be you not sure which way to go. You could have a couple different options and you're not sure. You may have people pulling you in different directions and you're not sure what to do. We have that clarified with the Five of Wands, clarified with the Five of Wands, two different decks. So that's Ten of Wands. So this is somebody who could be overwhelmed, stressed out, and may need a trip, may need to relax, may need to clear their mind. Like I said, some of you, if it's about someone who did pass away, maybe you're just conflicted about what you believe. Some people, when they lose a loved one, they question, the religious beliefs. They question God. They question whoever it is that they believed in. And it's like, yo, what is up with that? You took my people from me. What's up with that? I don't know if I want to believe this anymore. That type of thing. Um, but I'm getting also with the Five of Wands here. This could be with the Sagittarius energy. Somebody could be getting high. Okay. So that could somebody could have been taking a lot of pills, or it could be taking pills, or was on a lot of a medication. I'm also getting somebody who could be on, and I'm sorry if I have to bring this up, but I'm gonna bring it up real quick and get out of it because it might pertain to someone. I don't believe in not telling y'all what I see. I see that there's somebody who could be preparing for the final stages, and I did that something else came up similar to that in one of the other reads that I did for one of the other signs. Okay, somebody could prepare for end of life scenarios and situations here. And it could be, it could be that somebody's terminally ill. They know that they're passing. So, they could be wanting to set someone up so that someone is straight, but there could be a lot of competition, with family members and friends in reference to who gets what and who got what, type of thing. But I feel like there's five people that may have to split, or things may need to be split up with. So somebody could just be putting a will together also, is what I'm getting, okay? Aries. But let's see what else comes out. Okay, so we have complacent. So somebody could, this is what I was getting with this energy right here, with the creative energy. It's like somebody's complacent because maybe they can't figure out what they want to do, or they get into something and then all of a sudden they stop because it's just like, yo, I'm bored with this, or I can't move on because I got this going on, or life happens and you have to stop, and then you get that done and then you're still sitting. So I'm getting like procrastination type of complacent energy. And then we have reticement. Yeah, so this is about with this energy over here, this was about someone asking questions, trying to find out what they want to find out without looking stupid. That's what I'm getting with this King of Sword energy in reverse and adventure. It's like, how do I ask these questions or get this information out of this person? Somebody could be trying to find out if somebody is single, okay? Yeah, somebody could be trying to find out if somebody is single, if somebody has family, and they're trying not to look so obvious with the questions that they have for this person. They could be interested in somebody, especially with this Ten of Cups twice here. Somebody is interested in where somebody's family is from, or who their family is, or if this person has family, like if they're in a relationship type of thing. Okay, then we have the trigger energy. So somebody is triggered, okay, or somebody is doing something that triggers someone in some way, shape, or form here. Was I picking that up earlier? I wasn't picking up the trigger, but I do see the disturbed energy here in the Eight of Cups. So maybe somebody uh, does get triggered in some way, shape, or form, and that's what throws them off. Okay. So consistency, I'm getting consistency is key, or they get into something and then they slow down and they get complacent with it. And so, like I said, with this middle energy here, that's in reference to somebody's money making opportunities. Somebody definitely has the opportunity to be an entrepreneur, but for whatever reason, they just keep getting distracted. And that complacent energy also talks to the Neptunian energy, which is the Piscean energy, which is that nominous energy. And so that's the energy. It's like, yo, why do I keep getting distracted? Type of energy here. And so, you have to focus on that. Pay attention to when you get distracted, and then try to counteract that with some type of something that you put in place, so that, yeah, okay, I'm distracted. Let me focus on what I put in place so that when I get distracted, I can keep moving forward, type of thing. Yeah, this is energy of being hopeful. Yeah, so someone's very optimistic. They're hopeful. That's what that Sagittarius energy and that Wheel of Fortune energy is. So optimistic, success, and inspired. Okay, that's what that Nine of Pentacle energy is here too. So somebody could be taking some money that they got from an elder or somebody who left them some money behind, and they could be investing in it, or somebody's trying to figure out what to do with this money also. It could be trying to invest in foreign stocks. Okay, that's what I'm getting to with the Sagittarius and the Five of Wands energy. Foreign investments, overseas investments. Yeah, we have chaos and upheaval. So with this chaos energy here, this is what I was getting with that the Fool energy in reverse. Okay, chaos, upheaval, disaster, downfall. So somebody gets triggered in some way, shape, or form by something or someone, and as a result, it throws their life all over the place. So that's why they had to stop and keep going back, and stop and keep going back. I don't know if this is a drug addiction that somebody may have, but somebody keeps falling off the horse and getting back on. Let me see what this tortoise energy again is. Animals. The tortoise energy, the sea turtle, mellow, harmonious, go with the flow. I feel like somebody's having a problem with that, or they're too complacent and they don't know how to get back up, or somebody's, I don't know, somebody's in their head like, yo, I don't know if they're being held back by. It's something that's going on that they're being held back by. I don't know if it's something that somebody's ingesting. It could be alcohol or drugs that somebody's ingesting, and it's fucking with your creativity. Whatever it is, if it's not drugs, it's something that somebody is doing that's messing with their creativity. It could be food, the way that they're eating. Somebody could be overindulging, okay? And there could be a trigger here, okay? But there's something here that you're doing that's triggering chaos, keeping you from moving forward the way you want to. Drowning. So here's another energy of someone feeling, and this could also have to do with the death energy over here. Maybe somebody lost a relative and they could be feeling that things are chaotic, okay? And they could be drowning in their emotions. This could be, like I said, somebody could be Okay, I didn't say this, but someone could be going to a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, and they're just trying to sort their way out and get their way through things. Oh, support came out. Okay, so yeah, that could be again for somebody could be dealing with some type of or they work in this environment where they help others who might have some addictions of some sort. We have regret. Somebody feels remorse for the way that they treated you. And then we have release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go. So for some of you, it's just about accepting something for what it is. That's half of the journey. Okay. And with Chiron and Aries right now, Chiron is a wound that you have to live with all your life. You have to learn how to manage it and learn how to get it to the point where it doesn't stop you from doing what you need to do. And the only way for you to really pay attention to that is to notice it, you know. Um, so one thing I like to use is like Aries in the sixth house, okay, and Chiron there. So what could happen is maybe you don't stick to a schedule or routine. You get started with something, and you get and you let it go. And then you got to start all over again, and you let it go with anything. And it's in the sixth house. It could be with a health routine. It could be with your schedule, just trying to set a routine, regimented schedule. Somebody may have a hard time keeping a schedule, right? And so you realize, okay, I'm having a hard time doing these things. I thought something was wrong with me, but now I see that my chart is telling me that this is something that I have to work with, and I'm always going to have an issue with it. So first thing you do is you stop beating yourself up about it. That's number one. You know what I'm saying? Um, Radical acceptance and surrender can help you. So you stop beating yourself up about it, number one, and then you go out and you get support for it, right? Whatever it is. And so in these situations, you need help because you probably have already tried everything you could think of, right? So in situations where you feel like you keep falling, you keep getting back off, you keep falling, you keep getting off the horse, you keep getting back on, this would be a time where you would try to enlist outside help or assistance. Try something from a different perspective because that may, be the hump that you need to get over, what you're doing so that you could live with it, and manage with it, right? So there's that. Let's see what else we got going on. So, with the health thing, maybe it's instead of you doing everything you try to do and you fall off and get back on, it could be okay, well, 6 weeks, my first 6 weeks of exercise, I'm gonna work on the treadmill. I'm just gonna walk. Then the next 6 weeks I'm gonna just do weights, and then maybe uh 2 days of cardio, but 3 days of weights, right? And then the next 3 weeks, maybe I'll just do all weights only, and no cardio. Or the next week, 6 weeks after that, maybe I'll just work out outside. I'll go hiking. And then the next weeks after that, maybe I'll go roller skating. Like to keep yourself going, to keep the momentum going so that you have a healthy routine. But yet, you have to put effort into this because as soon as you fall off, you're going to get complacent and distracted, and that's going to hinder you. That's what Chiron does. You get complacent in something and you don't work on it, it's going to cause you problems. So you got to learn to work with it, and you're never going to 100% fix it. And if you do, you're able to take it and channel it and help others. That's the beautiful thing about overcoming your Chiron. So we got Don Juan energy. Okay, so this could be somebody who is addiction could be people, attention, sex, food, money. But the Don Juan energy is the energy of a player. Okay, so maybe this person is looking back at a situation and they realize that they played you in some way, shape, or form, and they are sad about that. This could be about an ex-lover over here too. Maybe this ex-lover reaches out to you because they see that you're doing well now. And they looked at you as somebody who always brought them comfort, who was always on your own. You always did your thing. You was always able to take care of yourself. And as a result, maybe this person is going back on a mind trip thinking about you and thinking about what happened with you and them and how things worked out and how you guys fought, what have you, and how you wore that. Somebody might have wore somebody out. As in, I'm done, I'm finished. That's what this death energy is representing to me. So somebody could be in regret of pushing you too far to the point where you left them the fuck alone. Yeah, the Medusa energy is here. So this is an energy of someone who was treated shitty for no reason. That's the story of Medusa. She, everybody talks about the snakes in her hair and, she turns men to stone, but people don't talk about how she got to be that way. She was an innocent in a situation and she got, shitted on and done dirty. Long story short. But at any rate, we got the Sage energy. This is all about the Sagittarius energy. We got that twice with the Wheel of Fortune and the Voyager energy here. So this is about somebody who learns from their mistakes, who, they did something and now it's like, okay, I realized what I did wrong. I got to fix that, or okay, I realized I was making the mistakes about this. I got to change that, and learning from their experience is what I'm getting with that. All right. So, Aries, this is what I got for you all. I hope you got something out of this. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully, you'll click that like button. If any of this resonated with you or someone you know, make sure you check out the other placements as well, because, like I said, I read for the placement, not for a particular, uh, not for any one particular, like I don't read for sun, moon, rising, and Venus. I read for all sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mercury, Pluto, Saturn, Mars, Venus. I read for all of those placements. Chiron, right? Career, money, finance, personal, private thoughts, love life, social life, family life. So everybody got this in their chart somewhere, so something might resonate with you. So make sure you check out the other placements, okay? So that's what I got for you, my Aries friends. I want to thank you again for checking out the channel. Make sure you hit that like button, okay? That way you'll know when I post next. Subscribe if you like, but make sure you hit that notification button, right? And happy birthday to all the Libras out there again. And hopefully you're having a good Libra season, and it's the full moon Aries. Salute to you. All right. So make sure you're doing your manifestations this is a good time to write a manifestation to get rid of any triggers, to get rid of anything that's hindering you or holding you back from accomplishing whatever goal you have. Right. So make sure you take advantage of the opportunities. All right. So I wish you the best, and I'll see you in the next. Peace.